Okay, so today we're going to talk about how to relocate your natal chart, or any chart really, to a different location other than the one you were born in. And this is important because you might be contemplating a move, maybe you're trying to figure out where to go on vacation, or maybe you want to figure out how to improve your part of fortune, which we're going to talk a little bit about today. And we talk more about that on my Patreon and on my email list, which you can sign up for at spiritsaid.com. Okay, so this is me, my natal chart. I was born on the left, you can see here, on September 16th, 1972 in Redwood City, California. But let's say I wanted to figure out why I was so much more financially successful when I moved to Charlotte, North Carolina. Okay, so what I would do to relocate this is I go up to Edit, and this is going to allow me to change my birth time and my birth location. So this is me, right? September 16th, 7 p.m., Redwood City. So the first thing I'm going to do is change this to a different location in wherever it is that I'm trying to relocate to. So I'm going to ask about Charlotte, North Carolina. And there are going to be some options, and you just select the right one. Now, this is the tricky thing. You have to adjust the birth time to account for the time zone difference. Now, Charlotte, North Carolina is on the East Coast of the United States. I was born on the West Coast, and so I know that it is 3 hours later on the East Coast. So I'm going to take my 7 p.m. birth time, and I'm going to adjust that to 10 p.m. Okay, so I'm adjusting the birth time to compensate for the time difference. This is the key part between wherever I was born and wherever I'm relocating this to. Now, I have relocated my chart to Baghdad, and it turns out that the time difference there is so big that I'm actually over into the next day. I think it's like 2 a.m. on September 17th. So if the time zone takes you past midnight, either the previous day or the following day, make sure you adjust the birth day as well. So anyway, I don't have to do that here. It's only 3 hours. I'm at 10 p.m. And now I can just click continue, and the new chart is going to come up. And you can see, if you look at the upper left, it now says Charlotte, North Carolina. It has my new adjusted birth time. And I can tell you why I was so much more financially successful. So if I look at my part of fortune, that's this little railroad crossing sign, the circle with the cross up here. This is now at the top of my chart. You can see it's conjunct my midheaven. That's a very publicly visible place. This house is associated typically with career. Plus, I know that this is in Aquarius, and it's ruled by Saturn, which is the H in the left. And I don't know if you can see this here, but these are both air signs. See, this is sort of a yellow-orange, and this is like yellow-orange. That means these are 120 degrees apart, and it means that the ruling planet is really boosting my fortune here. Plus, I can also see that my ascendant has changed now to Taurus, which is a sign ruled by Venus, which is usually a very pleasant experience. Plus, my Venus down here is one of the most positive planets in my chart. Now, I didn't know anything about astrology when I moved to Charlotte, but if I had, I would have told myself, hey, this is actually probably a better place for you financially and physically. So keep this in mind, because I'm now going to switch this back, right? Maybe I don't want this to be here permanently. I can just go right back. I'm going to change back to my original birth time of 7 p.m. I'm going to click Other Town, and that's going to be putting in Redwood City, which is where I was actually born. So I'm just switching this all back to my original data. I'm going to click Continue. And then we now can compare that elevated part of fortune ruled by Saturn in a 120 degree angle to my natal part of fortune, which is down here at the bottom of the chart. Plus, this is now in Cancer, and that's ruled by my moon up here. And my moon is in Capricorn, which means it's in detriment. So this is not a very strong planetary ruler. My part of fortune is not as good. So I could have definitely predicted that things would go better for me when I moved east. And in fact, they got worse for me when I moved back west, which is part of how I got into astrology, because I was looking for an explanation for that. Anyway, relocating your part of fortune is super helpful, and it has a lot to do with financial success, but also if you experience chronic health problems, this is huge for me. It's part of the reason my husband and I are nomadic now, and we're in York, England, where my health is way better. So if you're curious, feel free to sign up for my email list at spiritsaid.com. I'll put that in the description, or check me out on Patreon, because we talk about this stuff a lot, and I would love to help you with your relocated charts and your part of fortune. And I hope this was helpful. I will see you next time.